Hello there, and another in the series, which are the bonus reviews I'm doing on equipment. Now, there is a class of weapon, a compact handheld restraint slash striking implement, which really dates back uh, many hundreds of years to the Far East, and are commonly known by names such as a Yawara. It's like this with a loop for the middle finger, uh, sometimes called a Congo. And this is one I designed, and it's a striking weapon mainly, but you can strike hammer fist and you can punch with it. And this particular one, I had loads of them made, and I gave them away to a lot of friends. And a friend was on a, a protection job, and he was looking after Elizabeth Taylor in Switzerland, and she was visiting Richard Burton's grave, and she wanted some privacy, and a photographer, paparazzi, climbed up a ladder to get a photograph, and Chick, uh, who I'd given this Yawara to, given him a discreet jab in the solar plexus and folded him off the ladder. So that's the kind of thing it was designed for. Tactical pens, which is the theme of this particular video, is a development from these weapons. And I first heard about this kind of thing really in the Modesty Blaze books, which she used what she called a Congo. And I was intrigued by them, and started training with them way back then. And the tactical pen is a development of that type of weapon. And the bridge between the two is this implement. And I'll talk a little bit about the significance of that and where it came from. LAPD wanted training in karate, and they had an officer, John Gelson, who was a very keen practitioner. He actually was on the American team, and he brought his instructor, Master Nishiyama, along, and to train at the LAPD Academy. And they explained to him that they didn't want the traditional training. They wanted police orientated training, and the master went, yeah, well, I understand. And whereupon he had them marching across the floor of the gym, Ich-ni-san, doing kion, basic punches and blocks. So after a while of doing this, they kind of respectfully approached him and said, look, it's not really what we want. We want stuff that we can use on patrol. Oh, yes, I understand. Ich-ni-san, she, off they went. So they kind of drifted away from that. And they found another instructor, Takubata, who had come over from Japan. And when they explained what they wanted, and he'd done security work back in Tokyo. Oh, yes, yeah. And gave them police orientated training, and they were delighted with it. And, he was training there for well over 20 years, I think. So Terry met him when he was in LA a few times, and he told me some stories of him. Terry had a lot of respect for him. It's a terrific instructor, and the police loved him. And he developed this device, which was a development of the Yawara, and he called it Kubotan, and it's made of high impact plastic, and it's marketed as a keychain device. You can put keys on the end of it, and it's used in a variety of restraints, pain compliance, activate on the radius and ulnar nerves of the wrist mainly, and for pain compliance, pressure on various points, and as a last resort for striking in various ways. And to be honest, the master could do this. He could do it very, very well. Terry said, he was renowned at the LAPD Academy. He'd be in the canteen and he'd just grab you and put a wrist lock on you, pain compliance. He called it a little ouch, give you a little ouch. And, the guys got fed up with this, but he could do it. Anyway, I did the training. Mas Ayub was an instructor, and I did the training and got into it quite a bit. And mainly because on a protection job, I went to pick up the kit we were issued by the company, sent it up from Poole, and in it were a couple of these. And I'd never used this before. That was my first interest. Later, I trained with Mas Ayub and a couple of other guys. And my kind of takeaway from the whole thing was that as a restraint tool, it works in the gym. I've got big problems with it, pain compliance in general, working in the street. I think one of the reasons it works is because you do so many applications in training, your wrists become very, very sensitized to the pressure. And after one course, we were driving home and my mate had his hands on the steering wheel and I put a lock on with a packet of Polo mints and had him going ouch. So that really, I don't think it was the super weapon that a lot of people thought it was. A development of it was this one from Monadnock company who make the PR24s. It's got these ridges on, so it enhanced the effect a bit. And this is the one I used a lot, and I actually carried my keys on this for quite a while. I never ever used it on anyone at all. It'd be there on my belt and I'd be throwing someone out or struggling with someone, never used it. But if you do want a Kubotan weapon, that's probably the better design. And a British police officer came up with the Kubo pen, which is this one, and you can write with it, and make of it what you will. My opinion is if you got to you want to use a Kubotan, you've trained with it, the best one to have is a mini maglite. It does everything the Kubotan will do. You can strike with it, and it's a flashlight, and it's perfectly legal, and you can carry your keys on it. And I've got a whole bag full of these. Monadnock gave me, and I've got them all around the house with keys on for the windows and things. That's what I use it for. It's a keychain. I don't use it for anything else. I don't use it outside. But if you do like that, a mini maglite's better. So, as I say, this then became the link between this kind of weapon and the pen. So, I think one of the legal reasonings behind the Kubotan was it had to be less injurious than a pen. So that was its kind of raison d'etre. So less likely to injure people than if you used a pen, which obviously you can carry. So there's a whole industry of making tactical pens. This isn't one really, but what it is the Streamlight stylus. And I bought this. It was a really nice little flashlight. The only problem with it took batteries that you can't get. Can't get them anywhere. So as soon as the batteries ran out, it became defunct. But you could use it as a tactical pen. Before discussing all the different models or some of the models we've got, what I'll do is talk about the techniques, because I have taught the use of improvised expedient weapons and tactical pens on several courses at the request of various clients. Obviously, there is an interest in this kind of thing. So I'll use this Glock pen just as a demonstrator. So there's two main grips. you can use it as a hammer fist, and you can use it in a forward grip. Okay, it's a striking tool. That's all, as far as I'm concerned. There's nothing else. Restraint techniques and so on, they don't work. We proved it with the Kubat, going back to Kubat, and we proved it really. As I say, in the gym, you get people to tap out easily. When we did the stress inoculation course, what we did was had guys pair up in threes, as I say, and so you've got the subject, and one of the guys would put the lock on. We get them to practice it first, so they were conversing with it. Put the lock on, put it on full, and then with his other hand, he had to strike a focus mitt held by the third guy. And he had to do it 5 times with full power. And then we repeated it 3 times. So even with the full pain, you could still strike with maximum impact. So as a restraint device, I'm not in favor. So hammer fists, forward grip. Okay. Targets are the eyes and the throat. The whole area of the throat and the eyes. The body, forget it. It's not really going to do a great deal. And the technique, take the old hammerhead, is you don't need to aim. You don't need to aim directly in, because the planes of the face will direct blows up into the eyes, up into the eye sockets. I'm not even looking at the target, and it'll go straight into the eyes, just the way that. So you do a rising strike into the eyes, okay? And similarly, just cycling in to this area with the hammer fist type strikes. So that's really the technique of it. So I showed you the stylus. Any sturdy pen will really do. Somebody came up with the Americans call this a Sharpie, what we call the big marker pen, felt tip. This one's got a screw on cap, and it's called a Sharky, and it's very solid and everything, and it's not as focused as a normal pen, but it's very sturdy, and you cap the end of it, and you can use it in the ways you're supposed to. If I was going to carry a pen, I got this one at a convention, and it's got a law firm logo on it, firm of lawyers. So you're carrying a pen with a law firm logo on. It's made of metal, and it'll do the job just as well. Okay, so that's a pretty good one. This pen is pretty good metal pen, etc. However, it broke because there's plastic inside, and the plastic doesn't really last. So that's the thing you've got to worry about. So what happens if it breaks? And what I do on courses, I give guys a cardboard tube, and we do a striking drill with the cardboard tube, and the cardboard or a flimsy biro type pen with no nib inside it, none of that, just an empty plastic shell. They do it, and it disintegrates, but you just keep striking, because the strikes will work. The cycling of the hammer fist, get used to it failing. That's the thing. This one, I wrote up on the forum. It is a pen. It does have a nib and everything. It's made of strong aluminium, nailing and everything. It's from the wonderful folks who give us a global pandemic, so it's very cheap. The only thing is, it looks like a Yawara. Okay, so for training and for working out and for practicing, excuse me, the other part about training is access, the big thing. Where'd you carry it? How do you access it? We normally carry a pen clipped in a pocket or whatever. Can you get it out when you need to? A top pocket in a normal suit coat is not a good idea, because somebody can grab it and use it on you. So you've got to think about access. With all self-protection weapons, that's a big thing. You know, a pistol, the hardest thing about the pistol is the draw, the access, particularly in fight. So that's that one. The creme de la creme of the whole thing is this one from the famous and renowned Fred Perron in France, who makes all his stuff. He makes is excellent, very high quality. It's like a high-end market pen, you know, that executives use, but it'll do everything you need to do for a tactical pen, and really, really good piece of kit. Going into the realms of the wartime type stuff, you can use this as a tactical pen in normal, but it's actually a bladed weapon, so it's highly illegal and also lethal and everything. But it's from the wartime type of thinking. As regards training, some books. Master Kubata wrote this one, the original one. This one's based on the use of the maglite. There's a lot of information in there, and Monadnock came up with this one with their own training. So pretty good. The coverage of the system altogether. I have a whole collection in a little pack, and you know, when I do courses, I take it around and let people play with it. You should use an impact target. Get an old focus mitt you don't really want anymore, and get some heavy gauge rubber, tape it to it, because these type of weapons will destroy the pad. Then you should, when the rubber gets too chewed up, you just put some more on. So that's it, tactical pens. I don't really have a use for them apart from as a collector's item, but a lot of people do. It can be a force multiplier, and if you think that it's worth using, worth carrying, there it is. Obviously, legalities apply. Things like going through airport security applies. Some of these, like Fred's pen, is not going to attract any attention. This one would. You probably take it off your other security check. So that's my thoughts on it.